people are thinking about their real estate ownership, titling's important, trusts are important, but sometimes, and I think we touched on this, problems with recording the deed to your home into a trust, right?
Correct.
Hit that again for me so I really understood what you said there.
Sure. We all agree that you don't have to actually record the instrument to take ownership. So you really transfer it into the trust by merely executing the deed. The estate planning attorney should then hold on to that in his or her file to record later at death. Meanwhile, the property is still on title in the individual's name. So it's still entirety's property. It still has all the advantages associated with that entirety's property, and it doesn't get into the problem Sean mentioned, which is, and it's a big problem when people go to buy, or I should say to sell their home or to refinance it. It's a huge issue because now it's in a trust, and now there's a legal instrument that has to be recorded or reviewed in order for that transaction to go forward. And most people don't want everybody and their brother to be able to figure out what's inside of their confidential trust document. Now it's a matter of public record.
Yeah, and so on the front end, if you've got the right sort of counsel, you can make sense of that before you find yourself in a situation you had no idea was coming down the pike, right? You mentioned, Sean, how frustrating would that be if you had some investment, say with a parent or somebody like that, and God forbid they were to pass away, and now you're stuck into a situation you had no idea was coming your way. You've probably seen that a lot of times.
We have, and what I always hear is if I would just known this up front, if I would have known what I was getting into.
Right.
Everybody appreciates communication. If you know what you're getting into and how you're going to go forward with that, it makes things much more easier to handle and to accept. And then when something does happen, you know how to proceed.
Yeah, so real estate is such an important part of the American dream, to get yourself into a situation where you're building equity, a foothold into future financial freedom. You know, it was Rousseau, the Enlightenment philosopher, who said, "The money we possess is the instrument of liberty." There really is no freedom without some semblance of financial freedom. You know, we all, unfortunately, so many of us are stuck in the I owe, so off to work I go mode. And sometimes it's the second job and you know, not really able to get yourself into a position to move from survive to thrive. Because when you're able to get into those positions, then you can have an impact and make choices in your life and be able to do some of the things you want to do. So American Dreamer, I want to ask you, go like the Michigan Real Talk Facebook page. You're all on Facebook. We're on Facebook. You're on Facebook. Go like that Michigan Real Talk Facebook page, because you will find content of real value to help you think about your American dream, from a blog involving a real estate expert like Ron Thompson, some video with a guy like Sean Locke with Title Partners, or maybe just something about what it is to get involved with a great charity like we're going to be talking to here in the next segment with Scott Fader for Suits for Soldiers. Yep. They've got some great work they're doing. Mm-hmm. There are so many opportunities to build your dream. You can get there from here if you will own your dream. That is, take personal responsibility for it so that you can one day achieve it. And real estate investment can be a big part of that. But listen.